Well, it's finally here. The conclusion to Season 2 of Wednesday. And what a ride it's been. If you've watched Part 1, and I assume you have, you know that Season 2 started with too many storylines and ended in a cliffhanger. Do they all end in a satisfying conclusion? Let's break this part down to find out whether it's worth your time. To nobody's surprise, Part 2 starts as Wednesday survives the little accident she had with Tyler. Seriously, who thought for 1 second that Wednesday is going to be killed off in a show called Wednesday? She wakes up in the hospital, only to be greeted by the deceased Principal Weems, who's now her spirit guide. The avian from Part 1 and Tyler threaten to destroy Wednesday. Wednesday plans to control Tyler, since a hide can't survive without a master. Meanwhile, Slurp is on the loose, and the woman Wednesday rescued from Willow Hill turns out to be Tyler's mother.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Where do we even start? It's like they never learned anything from Part 1 and decided to double down. Wednesday Season 2 Part 2 again tries to do what every modern Netflix show does. Wrap up loose ends from the shoved-in subplots nobody asked for, and somehow make it feel like it's both too short and too long at the same time. Classic Netflix stuff. On paper, the writers tried to craft a gothic murder mystery with some high-stakes character drama. That's fine, but somewhere along the way, they couldn't decide whether they wanted Wednesday to solve an actual mystery, battle an existential evil, or just juggle awkward teenage relationships with supernatural flair. That's why we got all these subplots. The one-eyed crow mystery, who knew when and how to attack. The inside stalker that ended up being nothing more than a fangirl. Enid and Pugsley's struggles at Nevermore. And more than occasional visits to Willow Hill Asylum. On top of that, more and more unnecessary subplots are introduced that the show sometimes feels like a CW melodrama. So what do we get? All of them, mashed into a final act that feels part well done and part rare. There are moments of brilliance, sharp dialogue, clever twists, but for every good scene, there's another that makes you want to throw up. The pacing is uneven, the key moments finish too fast, and filler subplots drag on for too long. The stakes often feel artificial, and the ending, well, it's underwhelming at best, as disappointing at worst. But let's not be too harsh on it, and give credit where credit is due. The show is not without its values. The dark humor still lands. The chemistry between characters is solid. And there are moments that remind you why Wednesday became such a phenomenon in the first place. Jenna Ortega is perfect as Wednesday Addams. Even when the script veers off into bizarre territory, she anchors it with deadpan charm and razor-sharp delivery. She's sardonic, witty, and more than capable of carrying this entire circus on her shoulders. Emma Myers as Enid remains the emotional heartbeat. Her dynamic with Wednesday is still the best part of the show, even if the writers can't resist throwing an unnecessary drama between them. Steve Buscemi continues to be a wild, weird addition, delivering every line like he wandered on a set from a completely different movie. And somehow, it works. As for Catherine Zeta-Jones and Luis Guzman as Morticia and Gomez, they get more screen time in Part 2, and while their chemistry isn't quite explosive, it adds that Addams family eccentricity that Season 1 often lacked. Gwendolyn Christie, though, is another story. She's great in every scene she's in, but the script doesn't provide any tangible reason why she should be here in the first place. And don't get me started on why Lady Gaga is in this. Visually, Tim Burton's fingerprints are still all over the place. Gothic sets, creepy atmosphere, moody lighting, it all works. But the reliance on CGI creatures and set pieces starts to wear thin, especially when the effects don't always match the otherwise handcrafted aesthetic. Some of the set design looks amazing, like they spent real time and effort on it, and then suddenly, it seems they ran out of budget. As I said before, this season is not terrible, and it's a big, but the writing leans on cliches, the mystery is weaker than season 1, and the finale feels rushed yet padded at the same time. Not to mention, some subplots go absolutely nowhere. Honestly, it feels like the writers were already planning season 3 halfway through writing part 2, instead of focusing on delivering a satisfying end.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
So, what's the final verdict? Wednesday season 2 is not a disaster. It's stylish, it's fun in parts, and Ortega absolutely kills it. But it's also messy, uneven, and bogged down by Netflix's obsession with stretching stories further than they should go. If you love season 1, you'll probably still enjoy this, but don't expect the same freshness or bite. It's not the gothic masterpiece it could have been. It's totally underwhelming, but at least it's a much better Harry Potter show than the Harry Potter show we're about to get. What did you think of the second season of Wednesday? Drop your comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more breakdowns. See you next time.